Hello, everyone. How are we today? It is our Craft Along Day, which is my monthly online class that I do towards the end of every month, usually on a Thursday, unless something comes up. And this month, of course, is January 2026. So, welcome. My name is Linda Dolke, and I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up here in Australia. I've been having a lot of fun with craft alongs. I've been doing these now for I think about 3 years I've been doing these. So I probably should go back and see when I did my first one. But I do this because it's a way of rewarding my customers. So when a customer orders with me and the order is $90 or more in any month, they place an order for that amount. Then the following month, I send out a supply pack of products for us to make a project together. And today's the day we're making that project. So the people who got a supply pack this month are people who ordered with me in December. And if you've ordered with me over $90 in January, you'll be getting a supply pack to make the February card. So, and it's not too late. If you haven't ordered yet, that's okay. If you'd like a supply pack, just get your order in by the 31st of January and you'll be included in the February girls, the February craft along pack. All right. How is everyone? I see we've got lots and lots of friends popping up in the comments. Hello, hello. And the numbers are going up. Good to see. Good to have you all here. How's everyone going where you are? It's pretty warm here today, but not nearly as. I'm not going to complain about it because compared to the southern part of Australia, like Adelaide and Melbourne, our weather is very mild by comparison. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I think we're around the 30 mark today. And I know that some of the girls had temperatures well and truly into the 40s yesterday. So that's Celsius, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. So, hey, Helen, nice to see you. Hey, Siobhan, Denise, hello, hello. Here we are for this month's craft along, and this month I have a really, really cute little card for you. I haven't put it on my blog yet, although I've started writing the blog post. I've written the written tutorial. I've just got to link it on my blog post, which I'll do after this video. So if you wish to purchase written instructions, you can do that. Okay, I charge usually 15 Australian dollars for the written tutorials that I come up with each month. And then, of course, this video tutorial is completely free. So, all right, let me see. So you don't have to have ordered the products. You don't have to have ordered what I, with me last month in order to make the card, but to get the supply pack, you need to have ordered with me last month. All right. Hello, hello from AZ. That's Arizona, right, Diane? Am I right? 44 yesterday, Margaret. Oh, 24 today. That's 20 degrees less than yesterday. Wow, big difference, right? But that's good. I don't think you've left anyone out. It's so hard to keep up with everybody, isn't it, Margaret? So I'm just going to say hello, everyone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the desk and we are going to have a little look at what's in our packs today. All right. Oh, I better get it straight. I don't like it when I'm crooked. Crooked is bad. That's not my favorite at all when I'm crooked. I'm just going to try and line it up so everything's centered. All right, so this is the pack that went out this month. There was also a couple of little treats in your bags. This is not a complete pack because I didn't include the treats in what I'm showing you here. And who wants to tell me, did they eat their treat? Anyone already eaten their treat, or did you save it for an occasion? It is hard to say, everyone, and I'm trying to make a card at the same time, right, Margaret? So I've got no hope. All right, so the pieces that are in your pack, you've got all the pieces for the card. We've got some little tiny pieces in a separate bag so you don't lose them. I've got all the main pieces for the card structure. It is a diorama card today. Now, I know I've done dioramas in the past, but not with these products. And I haven't done a diorama. I was looking back at my records. I haven't done one since the beginning. I think it was January or February 2023. So it's been a few years since I did one. Dioramas have always been, for me, one of my favorite things. I love them. I just think there's so many things you can do with dioramas and different shaped dies and all that sort of stuff. So we're doing a diorama today and we're using the lovely and beautiful suite from a brand new catalog. So I'm just going to pull that out because I do want to show it to you before we get started. If you're looking for it, these products are on page 23 23. So there's some samples here on 23. And then 24, 25, there's a description of all the products in the suite. Beautiful, beautiful. This paper is just to die for. It is absolutely stunning. And then over the page, they've got some different samples, some scrapbooking and so forth. And a little bit more over here again. They show you how the vellum. Now, I included a sheet of the vellum in your packs. You're not actually using it for this card. That was just an extra little treat as well. Okay, so I'm looking back to see if anybody, if anyone is confessing that they ate the other treat that I put in there. I also put in a couple of rows of embellishments. It's more than what you need, but I wanted to give people choices. There are 3, you'll get a couple of rows of these. You'll get, like I said, a vellum pack, okay, and also I did include a couple of sheets of the paper. Different people will have different sheets from this, just as some fun samples. You don't need those. Those are just little extra treats for you. I've actually beefed up my CraftAlong packs a little bit. I did increase the amount you need to spend to get one, but I'm also adding more to the packs. So each month there'll be special things in there for everyone. All right, and then in here we'll come back to these because we're going to be using these little decorations later. And then there's also, now this is not included in your packs, but I did put in a piece of white paper into my pack. If you wanted to add a piece of white paper to write on and have it on the back of the card, then we can do that. So let me show you the card. Look how beautiful these flowers are. I love them. That's the big one. We're using small ones today, and here's our card. Okay, we're using the little flowers. These are the big ones, but they're all from the same gorgeous set called Simply, hang on a second while I get the name right. Simply Beautiful is the name of the set with all the little flowers. Okay, all the flower pieces. Hey, Leslie, is it still hot in Broken Hill today? I hope not. I hope you're getting a bit of a reprieve. And then also I've used some of that beautiful paper here. You can see there's some gorgeous gold foiled paper at the back. Can you see how gorgeous that is? Isn't that beautiful? And this is actually a very simple little card. I think dioramas are easy, but a lot of people find them overwhelming. So I'm hopefully going to get you to feel that it's not so overwhelming. Look at these lovely vellum flowers that they've used here. I think that's just gorgeous. Isn't that stunning? So you can have a lot of fun with these. I just think it's a beautiful suite of products. I only use part of the suite. I didn't use absolutely everything. Like I didn't use the ribbon. I didn't use the stamp set called Beautifully Celebrated. I didn't order. Oh, hang on. No, I didn't use this one. I could have used this sentiment here, but I chose a different sentiment from the other set in the suite, which is this one. So I chose the Thinking of You suite sentiment. But you could actually use any words that will fit on a banner of your choosing. All right. The banner that I chose is from the Floral Arrangements dies. I like the curved edges of this. It's almost like an oval, a long oval is kind of how I would describe that. 46 is too hot, Leslie. Oh my goodness. So how are you keeping cool? Do you have good air conditioning where you are? I hope so. Gosh, you wouldn't live in Broken Hill, I don't think, if you didn't have good air conditioning, right? It's so warm out there. Do you know, when I was growing up, I went to school in Western New South Wales, and not as far west as Broken Hill, but we were like the first school heading west. I went to school at a place called Borealda, and that was to the, if you're looking at a map, it's east of Moree. Okay, so getting west, but not as far out as where you are. So we were the first school that had the Western school zone. So for those of you who don't know, schools in the western part of New South Wales, and I don't know if there's other states that do this as well, but schools in the western part of New South Wales get an extra week of school holidays. So 7 weeks instead of 6 for the Christmas school holidays, because Christmas, of course, is very hot where we are. And because it was so hot out our way, they would give the school kids an extra week off, which we thought was wonderful. We thought that was amazing. And I'm sure the teachers liked it too, but that was the official reason was because of the heat. So, so that's an interesting little fact that some people might not know they do that in New South Wales. All right, also part of your treats, you've got a couple of rows of embellishments. These are the pearlized, hang on while I get the name right, pearlized faceted circles. Absolutely gorgeous. These are some of my favorite bling we have right now. They're all sparkly. There's white, Petal Pink and Calypso Coral, and some of you would have got two. So you might have got the Calypso Coral. This one is the Petal Pink and the white. So depending on what you were lucky enough to get when I was chopping them all up, that's what you ended up with. Oh, good. Oh, yes. Yes, it's a dry heat, isn't it? Like you say, low humidity. Hey, Maggie, and up there, I bet it's cold where you are in Alberta. Oh, good. We've got all kinds of weather extremes going on at this time of the year. All right, so I'm going to put these little bits aside because you won't actually need these. These are just a little treat to go in your bags. And then I'm going to leave all the little pieces to make the flowers and the leaves that go on top. We'll keep those in here for now just to keep them all together. And we'll start with the basic pieces. So in the tutorial, if you're buying it, it will have all the measurements for you. Everything's in there, and in both imperial and in metric. Okay, I've done both. Hey, Ellen, nice to see you. Oh, it was an incentive to get teachers to apply for country service. I didn't know that, Cherie. I've just learned something. Ah, there you go. That's a cool thing because no one wanted to move out west, which is a shame because I think some of those, country western communities are just amazing. They're lovely communities. All right, so we've got a piece. Now, I've already cut all these pieces up for you. Okay, I went ahead and did it and I put the holes in it and everything so that you've got all your windows ready to go. Makes it really easy. But I'm actually going to take a little bit of a moment here to show you how I made the holes and how you would go about cutting these. Okay, so you're going to need two pieces that are 10.5. I'm going with metric at the moment. 10.5 centimeters high or wide here and 18 centimeters long. Okay, so 18, you're going to need two of those, right? So you need two that are 18 centimeters long. You're going to get your trimmer after you've cut those two pieces, and you are going to score 2.5 centimeters from one end. Get my cutting blade out of the way because I'm just scoring, not cutting. And how often have we done that? My advice is if you're somebody who forgets and you cut instead of score, and we've all done it, either move your cutting blade right down to the bottom so it's well and truly away, or if you don't trust yourself, take it out altogether and put it aside. Just remember where you put it, but take it aside so that you aren't tempted to cut, right? Because it's so easy to do. Then you turn it around 180 degrees and you score, you don't cut, you score at 2.5 centimeters from the other end. Okay. All right. Now, if you're doing this in inches, okay, I better quickly look at my tutorial, which I have open on another. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up because I want to make sure I've got the right measurements. It should be 7 inches by 4.25. Okay, 7 inches by 4.25, and you're going to score an inch from each end. Okay, so the front panel, because you've taken an inch from here and an inch from here, this front panel will end up being 5 inches between the score lines. So if I was to fold that, okay, this panel here at the front, that panel is 5 inches. And on our metric one, your panel amount, this is 13, okay, and then this is 2.5 and 2.5 to make a total of 18. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold these, whichever way you've done, whether you've done the metric or the inches, doesn't really matter. But I'm going to make sure I give it a good old scoring because I want to make sure that if you take the time to use a bone folder and score your flatten your score lines, you'll get a more sturdy flat card. Okay. Before somebody asks me, does this card fit into an envelope? Yes, it does. Okay. So that's always a good thing. So when this flattens out, okay, you can see it actually does fit into, you can see I need to score this a little. I need to flatten my folds down, but let me grab, this is just a standard C6 envelope, and you can see that this fits inside there. Okay, so it does fit into an envelope. I did one originally, I'm going to show it to you now. I did one originally and I used the Cute as a Bug. If anyone wants the measurements of this, you can reach out to me. But this is one I did with the Cute as a Bug, and I used the textured notes to cut rectangles in the middle. The problem with this one, it's way too long for an envelope. Look at that, doesn't even come close. see how much difference. So I modified my sizing so that it would fit into an envelope. But if you wanted to send a card like this to someone and you don't care about it fitting into an envelope because you're just going to include it in a gift bag or something like that, well then yeah, it doesn't matter so much. You could certainly modify and go a different. So the measurements I'm giving you right now are to make it fit in an envelope. Okay, so let me have a little look. I'm seeing Ellen and Helen are talking to each other. You know, I never thought about the fact that that rhymes. Ellen and Helen. Never thought about that. Oh well. All right, so you can see the panels of the card. Okay, so the whole idea is that you have like a telescoping vision into the back of the card. In this case, I'm using some of the beautiful DSP from the Lovely and Beautiful suite. It's called Lovely and Beautiful, which is why the suite always takes its name from the DSP for anyone who doesn't know that. Oh, that's a big word, Donna. Yeah, look, like that's what I did with this. I used my scenery at the back there, and I've got a really cute little scene with some bugs having a picnic lunch, and they've got a harp and a butterfly. So yeah, really good for scenery. I have done over the years so many diorama cards, and if you go to my channel and you hit go to my channel page, use the magnifying glass on it's not the top right, but it's on the right hand side. And type in the word diorama, and you'll see I've got a whole bunch of different cards that come up. I just haven't done one for 3 years or so, or a long time now. So I figured it's time. It's time to do one. Oh, diorama. What was that big word you used there, Donna? Is that another word for diorama? Oh, yeah, not diorama, diorama. Anyway, so now we have this one and we have this one, and these two are the same. Okay, you can see they are identical front and back. This is going to be the front, and then it's going to be like when we put it together, it's going to be like they're giving each other a hug, and it's going to form this box shape. Okay, so you've got one kind of wrapping around the other. That's how it goes. All right, we haven't even cut our circles yet. Then you've got another piece in the middle. This one is 16 centimeters, okay? Or if you're doing imperial, it will be 6 inches, okay? So the first one was 7 inches, this one is 6, and you're going to score this one at 1/2 an inch from each end. Now, if you are doing the metric, it's 1.5 centimeters from each end, which is not quite in the middle. So can you see here? It's a little bit closer to the front than it is to the back, and that is by design. But if you're doing the 1/2 inch with metric, it's going to be right in the middle. It's no big deal. It's still going to look great either way. But on mine, the front here, this inside piece is a little bit closer to the front than it is to the back. All right, that's just a small difference, but yeah, it still works. Still works the same. Still looks good. All right, so 1/2 an inch, or I just did 1/2 an inch, and I just realized it was meant to be 1.5 because I'm doing metric. It's all right. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to still score it at 1.5. It won't matter. Can you see the difference? That's the difference between 1.5 centimeters and 1/2 an inch. Okay, not much. So that's why it will work either way. All right. Helen and Ellen. That's so funny. Oh, you're sick of autocorrect. I know it does it to us, doesn't it? So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it on the line here, and we're going to use our bone folder, and I'm going to flatten that down. So this is going to be my centerpiece. So now I have my 3 layers. So if you have your packs that I sent you, I have already gone ahead and I've scored it, and I've also put the holes in it for you. Okay, so that's all done. And the reason I do that is because I don't know if you have these dies or not, so I'm not going to ask you to do it because you might not have them. The dies that we're using for this, all right, are these ones. All right, these are really lovely. Let me see. Okay, and these are the matching ones. So these two go together. It's called Beautifully Celebrated. And even though I didn't end up using any of these stamps, I did use these dies. Okay, so let's get them out. I'll have to compare to my original so I can make sure I'm using the right sizes. All right, so when you open this up, you'll see we have a whole bunch of nested dies. And here's the thing, you can make a diorama card with any nested dies. Okay, so really the sky's the limit. Any nested dies you might have are the ones you want, all right? And I used, I think, let me double check that I have it right, all right? I used this one for the small hole. The smaller hole is in the center, okay? And then I went up to the next size above that to cut my outside hole, okay? And if you are, so it's these two, one fits inside the other. Can you see that? If you're wondering which two, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 if you're going from the biggest down. If it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 if you're going the other way. So actually, perfect. So it's the third and fourth largest or smallest, doesn't really matter. It's the same. All right, so I'm going to just take those away. I will need another one of those in a minute, but we're going to start with this. Now, if you were doing this from scratch, you would now put your base piece. So let's do this one just so you can see. And you would glue this on without the hole. And this is in one of the ones with the 2.5 centimeter. So one of the 18 centimeter ones, one of those. Designate that as your front panel. And the other one is going to be your back panel. And then we're going to have this one here on the back. Okay. Now I just say, for example, I decide I want to have this. Look at that Calypso coral pattern. That's really nice, isn't it? Hey, Tanya, nice to see you. So you would glue it together first and then you would cut it, all right? And you would use the larger one on the outside, all right? The only thing about having this line up is you just want to, I did it with, by eye, but if you glue this down first, you're making it easier for yourself because it's not going to wiggle around while you put it through your cut and emboss machine. But I actually, for you guys, because I wanted you to be able to glue it all together, I actually did it with it just sitting there. I just put it on and then die cut it. But you will find it easier if you glue it. All right. So it just made a little bit of a challenge. These are the kind of challenges that I have when I'm doing my die cutting for an online class for a supply pack. All right, so what you would do is you would position that so it's exactly, you've got the same amount of distance here, 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 and here. Okay, try and keep those as much the same as you can. And then you would run that through your die cutting machine. Okay, that's what you would do. It will cut through both layers, the DSP, which is quite thin, and the cardstock. It will cut through both. This is important. When you wanted to go through 2 layers like this, you're best to use simple shapes, okay? Hey, Denise. So this is a simple shape, relatively speaking. It's got no little extra, sprigs or anything like that. It's a pretty simple shape. So anything that has a simple shape will work well and cut through both layers. As soon as you start getting with a more intricate die, it doesn't work as well because it doesn't cut through the layers as well, okay? It will cut through one layer, but when you start asking it to cut through more, you start to have issues. So just bear in mind, you'll want to stick with a pretty simple shape. So in the interests of getting this done, what I did was I lined this up so it was sitting there on the front. And then with my larger shape, I ran it through my cut and emboss machine. This would already be glued down, but we're going to glue it now because we can, because we already have it cut. All right, so I'm actually going to grab my Tombow or whatever glue you like to use, and I'm actually going to glue this panel with the hole down onto my piece. Whoop, I put glue in the wrong spot, but oh well, let's see, it won't matter. It's going to end up on that piece anyway. All right, and I'm just lining it up with the hole that I've already cut. Of course, if you had glued this first, you wouldn't have to worry about that because it would automatically be lined up when you cut it. All right, so that's how this piece ends up looking. I'm using now some of you have this piece. I think nearly everybody has this piece. It's like peach pie, like a little grid. Can you see the color? It's really, really pretty. Really like this one. I think everyone has that. If anyone has a different colored paper, because I ran out. I don't think I did run out though. But if you have a different one, oh no, some people have the petal pink. That's what it is. Let me just have a really quick look and see if I have a piece of that handy that I can show you. I do. I do have some I can show you. Oh my goodness, this paper is to die for. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. All right, so this one to me is very wedding-y, and some of the stamps in this bundle are also very wedding-y. And you've got like peach pie and fresh freesia with a little bit of garden green there. No, a little bit of old olive on the back. Isn't that nice? Love that. This one I used quite a bit on the supply packs, and this is what you can see this is what's on the back here in the back. Okay, so that's the one I used there. And this is the one that some people have. So some people have got this petal pink design instead of this peach pie grid. Okay, so you may have this or you may have this. All right, so it just depends on what I had available. I since ordered another pack, so I have more now. But and then this one, little gold. You hopefully can see the gold foiling on those in the centers of those little fresh freesia flowers. And on the back, we have some old olive, which is really nice. This one I did use a bit. So peach pie, no peach pie on this one. Petal pink and old olive and fresh freesia in gold. Really, really pretty. Isn't it beautiful? Who hasn't seen this paper? Because I just think this is divine. Fresh freesia with white flowers. That's really nice. And that one I think we did. And this one I've shown you this one already, but that's really, really lovely as well. And there you see I've got an extra sheet of this one now. But I love this watercolor kind of a look. I used this one the other night on a sketch night, a Friday night live, and I just think those flowers and those colors are beautiful. The peach pie looks really, really good on here. And it goes really lovely with the peach pie on the back of the paper. Looks really good. Anyway, I wanted to show those to you so you get a good idea. All right, we've got this put together. This is going to be the front, okay? So what I find helpful with the diorama is carefully sort of put things to one side and go, okay, this is the front, all right? And then we have this one here, which is the shorter piece, the 16 centimeter piece or the 6-inch piece, okay? This one is going to end up behind here. And then this one is going to wrap around from the back. Already folded, so I might as well use that. Okay, so you end up with this. You end up with this shape. Okay, now we're going to fancy it up a bit. This piece that you've got, this is 12.5 centimeters by 10. If you're doing the people who've got the ones from me. And I'm going to put it in here, and this is going to be my back piece. So this is the scene that we're looking in on when we're looking through the windows. So I'm going to put some glue behind that. So we've done the front, now we're doing the back. And then we've got to do the center window. And the center window is kind of crucial because, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, just make a card simple like this and, you know, have this one wrap around here and just have a really simple diorama. You could do that. But I think having that extra level on the inside, the third centerpiece, just makes it look a little bit more striking. And also it gives it a bit more sturdiness as well. Julie has a question, does she? Let me see. Did I miss your question? Our diorama is always landscape. No, yes, you can do portrait. I did a whole series. Julie, you're in my team, so I'll see if I can find the portrait diorama instructions that I did a while back. So let me follow that up for you. Would that be okay? We can put it in our team group. Oh, that's okay, Anne. I'm glad the computer is working. That's awesome. Thanks, Jen, for letting me know that Julie had a question. JG is Julie. So there you go. All right. So what we're going to do now is we need to get this so it works with this. Okay. And here's the thing. All right. So this is the piece. This is the same size. This is the 16 centimeter piece. This is the piece that's in the packs. I've already cut that window. But let me show you how I did it because this is important because obviously for this to look good, we have to get the windows to line up, to match up. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your middle piece, see how it's shorter, put the middle piece and line it up with those with those score lines at the end. Okay, so it sits there. And I'm actually going to bring my cut and emboss machine in so you can see what the heck I'm doing. I think this is the easiest way to line it up. When I did my tutorial, my written tutorial earlier, I did it the other way around. I did the centerpiece first and then did the outside. Both work, okay? But yeah, I think I'll change it to match it up with what I'm telling you now, because otherwise everyone's going to get confused. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to match these up so that score line and that score line are together. Okay. And I'm going to put that down on my platform. Okay, I've got my cutting plate underneath, and then I've got my pieces of paper on top. Now remember, it's the small one of these that we're using to cut this middle window. So what we do is hold it down. Oh, that's the big one. Get the small one and put the small one so it lines up in the middle. All right. And you know what you try and do is make sure it's even all the way around so it matches. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my bigger piece and take that away. And now this is in the right place. Now, if you trust yourself to roll it through, good on you. That's fantastic. But if you don't, use a Post-it note or even a piece of washi tape. This is some old glitter washi tape that we used to have once upon a time. And I'm going to put that in place so it won't move. And then I'm going to run that through. I'm going to run it through, grab my plates. Okay. And then we're going to put that through so that that will cut in exactly the right place. Did that make sense what I just did? Yes, any shape works. Hexagons, octagons, triangular, anything. The main thing is you need nested dies. And this is one of the reasons why I love nested dies, is because they are fantastic for making diorama cards. All right, so now that that's gone through, I carefully remove the washi tape or the Post-it note. The washi tape is going to stick a little bit harder than a Post-it note, but I think I like it because to me it's more, it's not going to move. That's why I like it. All right. So now I've got this piece. I can use that for something else. We're not going to need it for this. And I now have my hole from the middle and it's perfectly placed. Okay. So let me move that. Oh, well, actually, I'll leave it in because we're going to use it again. All right. Now you might, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to move it. All right. So now we have this and we have our base. The base is going to end up wrapping, the center is going to end up wrapping around, actually no, it's going to go in the center. The base is going to wrap around that, okay? And then this one is going to wrap around that. So you have perfectly placed these pieces, okay? Does that make sense what we've done? And that's how you get your diorama shape to match up. All right, but I wanted to fancy it up a little bit more. And so what I did was I got my small one, the one that matches the center hole. And because I can, let me find my other dies. You could, if you wanted to, put these two together on a piece of gold to make a frame, okay? But that's a very thin frame, and I thought it would look better if I made it a bit thicker, so I actually went up one more size. This is the second biggest one now, and I ran those two through together. So the small one's got to match up with this because that's the size, but this one just means that I've got a bigger piece. Alternately, you could create, and I did do this in the past, you could create this whole section out of gold, but then you're using up a lot more gold. So I thought it made sense to make just a frame by using the same size one that I need here and one that is too bigger so I get a decent sized frame. And this is the frame that it cuts, okay? So that's the frame that I've cut by putting these two together on my gold piece. Let me bring this down so you aren't so far away. Try not to make anyone seasick. That's right, Cherie. Yeah, there's so many different ways you can do this. Okay, and some experimenting. Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I just think dioramas are one of those things that some people think they're really hard. They're not. It's just you need to do a few steps to get them to work properly. Now that we've done the frame and the center hole and the outside hole, that's all of our cutting done as far as the actual base of the diorama. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this here and I am going to glue that together. All right, so this inside piece needs to line up with this inside window. So let's get ourselves some Tombow or whatever glue you want to use. I find Tombow easy for this sort of thing. And we're going to pop that right here. Make sure from the other side, yep, that's right. So that now I've got this lovely frame on the center. I know, right? You almost need to make notes, Jen, so you can remember later what it is you learned or how to do something. I think that that's always a handy thing. All right, so now this one is going to end up in here. This one is going to wrap around, and that is the base of our card done. All right, so obviously, if you wanted to make the sides thinner again, you could, but the reason that I'm using this size panel and these size pieces is so that it would still fit in an envelope. That was why. So, and you can see how it ends up. So it's up to you whether you want to put the flowers on the layers as you go. I didn't. I put mine in at the end, but that's up to you. All right, I'm actually going to put my card together now. And I find the easiest way to do this, hang on a second while I grab I'm grabbing some tear and tape for this. You could use any glue, but you want a glue that sticks straight away. So Tombow, it takes a little bit to dry. I think you'd be better off with either tape or seal for this. And I'm going to put this right here on the outside of my panels on the side, my scored panels. Okay, I'm going to do two. I'm going to have one on that top edge and then one on the scored edge. I'm staying just to one side of the score line. So not on the score line, just to one side of it. Can you see that? So that it folds over. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're doing it on our small piece. I hope everything I'm saying is making sense. If anyone has questions, this is a great time to ask. I'll try and check the comments. And usually if I miss a question, as you saw before, someone will say, hey, you missed the question. Yes, you can always watch again, watch the replay. Exactly. All right, so now we've got these two pieces on here and these two pieces on here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them off on one side. One. Doesn't matter which side. If you've centered this well, it doesn't matter which side you do. All right, so I'm now going to put this just to one side of that score line. And I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to give it a good press. I'm also going to use my bone folder and I'm also going to give it a good press. All right, so now this piece is glued into here. Can you see that? We've got a little bit left over. That's okay. That's for our front panel. All right, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take off the backing of the tape. You're going to push this back. So it's just to one side of the score line. And then you're going to push that over and give it a flatten down. All right, so now we have this shape. All right, can you see that? You've got your 2.5 centimeter panel here, or 1 inch if you're doing imperial. Okay, and it looks like this. This piece now goes around the whole thing, and you'll do it in the same way. You can either add your glue tape if you like to here and here, or you can add it to the inside of here. It makes no difference. All right, so either here or here, because you're going to be putting this one around. So it doesn't really matter this time. So I'm just going to add some tape. Is this making sense to everybody? I hope so. Oops, hang on. I got my fingers all messed up then. Try that again. So you're going as close to the edge as you can. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. That's a great idea. Cherie just said she keeps a book beside the computer. It's very organized, and label the page with channel and video name plus the card name so I can find the video again. Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea. All right, so let's get this close to this edge. And it's called tear and tape because you can just tear it. Some people, I've got one customer who does not like tearing this stuff. She always cuts it. But, you know, everyone's different and that's okay. Whatever works, right? All right, so we've got those. We're going to take the sides off. The backs off, I should say. The backs off the paper. And I'm going to line this up so the edge of the paper is right there at that fold. Whoop, did I get that wrong? I hope I got it right. Okay, then we do the other side, same thing, take the backs off. Yeah, she seems very detailed, doesn't she? And we're going to line that up right there on the edge so it doesn't go over the fold line, but it's right to the edge. And there we go. There's our card put together. Okay, so you can see. And if it pops out and curves a little bit, that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's, from the front, you're not going to see, that's not going to be a problem at all. All right, now I'm going to decorate it with my flowers. Just checking how we're going for time. Yeah, we should be okay. All right, so then we have our little flowers. So these are also from the, is it Simply? I think it's Simply Beautiful. Yes, Simply Beautiful dies is what I've used here. And you'll see there's some large flowery bits and some small flowery bits. We're using the small ones and we're going to use a couple of the different leaves. So let me show these to you. I'm going to be doing a bit with these over the next little while. One thing I did want to show, someone asked me whether I would do a video on these, how to put the flowers together, how they work, and I will do, I think, a Technique Tuesday on just these. But I think that they go together really, really well. And you've got big ones with a base, and you've got small ones also with a base. So what I have given you, okay, I've given you a banner die. This one's from the Lovely Arrangements dies. If you don't have this particular one, doesn't matter. Any banner would do, okay? And then you'll put a banner sentiment on it. So you're going to have two little flowers, which is this little die here, two flowers. I've done those in Petal Pink, and they're just the base to stick everything to, okay? Then we have also Petal Pink, two of these, and these are this little guy here. It reminds me a little bit of the pansy dies we had a few years ago, but this is not. This is actually going to end up on our piece here, and it gives, having this as the base just gives it a bit more stability. Then you've got a couple of Calypso coral ones, and I had those so that we put the petals for these in between, so you've got the Petal Pink poking out through those, and we're going to give them a little bit of a fancying up as well. Right, so then which way? That one goes here. All right, they look good, don't they? And then some of you may have got peach pie. Now, it depended. This one that I'm doing right now doesn't have any peach pie in that backing paper. This one did have some peach pie in this backing paper. So I used peach pie for the flower centers, okay? And I added some Winker Stella to that, which look really nice. Some of you who don't have the peach pie in the backing paper, but you have the gold, I gave you gold pieces, which obviously you don't need to add Winker Stella to. You could add Winker Stella to anything else you like though, but you won't need that for the gold bits. Huh, where is my other gold bit? Did I just drop it? Or is it still in the bag? I know I cut it out. Doesn't matter. Anyway, you're going to get the idea. So I may have to cut another one. That's fine. So then we have this big leaf here, okay, which is just a nice big leaf shape, and that one here. So this one, okay, and that one. And the nice thing about these flower centers is there are 2 of them, so you can cut more of them quickly if you need to. So I have this one and this one, and then I cut this, this, and this, which are the details for your leaves. Okay, so we've got all these, which are really nice. And you can wing Stella on these if you like. All right, so let's have a little look, and I'm going to see what looks good on here. I think I'm got it right. Actually, it's up to you which one you use, but that looks pretty good actually. So these will go on here. So let's start putting these together. We'll add some, you can use glue dots or a little bit of Tombow and just pop those over. What type of flowers it meant to be? That's a good question. Anyone got any suggestions on what type of? I'm not a gardening specialist. I'm a card making specialist, so I don't actually know what flowers these are meant to be. But if someone wants to give me their educated opinion, I'd love to hear it. What do you think they are? And then while that one's drying, I'll get this one happening. Okay. Donna's question is a good one. Doesn't seem like anybody else knows either. Makes me feel kind of weirdly better. They're really pretty flowers, whatever they are. Now, before we put these together, though, I'm wondering what happened to my other. I wonder if I left it over at the Big Shot. Sorry, I said Big Shot. My cut and emboss machine. Everyone knows what I mean. Could it be under here? No? Oh, look, there's a bee. One of those little bees. Those are cute. We could have those on there for with the flowers as well, couldn't we? Let me have a quick look on my cut and emboss machine to see if. Well, I don't know where it went unless it's on the floor. Would it be on the floor? Because there you go. There's the 2 that I cut. So it's somewhere, but I'm just going to cut another one because we don't want a flower without a center, right? Who's crafting along with me today? Anyone? Anyone who's creating as we're working? You think it's a hibiscus? Well, it's kind of like a hibiscus. This one, the big one, looks, I think, more like a hibiscus than the small one. But there we go. Now I have 2. And then I'll find the other. Now I've cut one, I'll find the other one. Because that's how that works, right? All right. So what I did want to do, and I'm just going to grab out a sponge dauber that has been used for Calypso Coral. And you can use whatever ink goes with whatever paper you're using. But I think Calypso Coral looks really, really good with this paper. So, oh, hey, Marlene, how you going? Nice to see you. I bet you're cold. We've already heard from a couple of people who are experiencing some cold climate right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to just use this. This is optional. You don't have to do this, but I really like having a little bit more colour on the bottom petal pink. And you could use a blending brush as well, but I think a dauber sometimes when you're working with small flowers, sometimes the dauber is easier. So let's do, I'm going to do this one as well. I won't worry about the Calypso Coral, but I am going to do, and you don't have to do the whole thing because only the ends of the petals are going to stick out. So you can just kind of, it's a peony. Is that Cora Louise? Is that right? Thanks, Cherie. I know the DSP is gorgeous, Denise. I agree with you. It's just stunning. every now and then, I mean, we have some beautiful DSPs and also different. Like the Nature Walk one at the moment is one of my favorites. It's not a specialty paper, but it's just so beautiful. But it has a very grungy, masculine kind of a feel to it, whereas this has got prettiness all over it, I'd say. So, you know, different, totally different vibe, this paper, but still very, very beautiful. I'm just going to go around and add a bit more Calypso coral to the edges. And then I stuck these together with glue dots. Now it's up to you. If you want to use another glue, you certainly can. But just having that little bit of extra sponging around the edges makes such a difference. All right, so let's grab ourselves a glue dot. And I'm going to start with this guy here. And I put the glue dot in the center. Totally up to you if you want to do that, but I think it looked good. And then it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of glue sticking out because we're going to be putting another thing over the top and then another thing over the top again. So it doesn't really matter if you don't have it completely aligned. And that where they join in the middle there is sort of just right to hide the glue dot. And you want these petals poking out between the bits where the petals are not at the bottom. So you kind of arrange them. Can you see how this is looking? It's very pretty. And you can flip these up a little bit so that they stand up a bit from the bottom if you want to. And then I used this one. And let's grab this and I pop that in the middle. So really easy to put together. Look how nice that is when you put it together. It does look a bit hibiscusy now you've said that. Once again, a bit more. Yeah, which way do I want it to go? I'll go that way. And then a bit more here. Did anyone say they were crafting along? If you did, I missed that comment. I'm so sorry. I always love to know who's crafting with us. All right. Now this one, once again, it doesn't matter which way you put the centers on because you'll just turn your flower the way you want it to go. So it doesn't really matter. All right. So I'm using the gold, but you might have peach pie in your set, in your materials. All right. There we go. That's done. All right. Now, when I came to doing this, you can put these together first and then attach them, or you can start by putting these on and then attaching the flowers. I kind of feel like this is easier. Okay, so I'm going to start with having this one on the outside, and you can see that I put it on here and I added a bit of glue. It doesn't matter which glue you use, but I just added some glue to here. That way it's in the right position. And if I have it just going over the edge here on the front, it's going to look like that. All right. This one, I wanted to have it so it's just sticking out so that I can see it. And I'm going to have that appearing. And I'm doing this, like I said, you could have done this before you put the card together, but I actually think it looks, it helps you place it and decide where you want them to be if you already have it in the card made first. All right, so looking like that. What are we making? Cindy, we're making this. We're making a diorama card. So if you are interested in how we did it, you can go back and watch the video from the beginning when we're all done. We're not far from finished now. Now up to you. You can have these going whichever. I had this one or the one that's at the top coming down, and I had the other one so it's going up. That's how I did them. But you could have them facing whichever way you like. Oh, it helps with color choices. Good to know, Donna. That's really good to know. All right, so up to you what you do here. You can just glue dot it straight on. I actually chose to use a dimensional underneath. I'm just looking. This only has 2 dimensionals left on this sheet, but that's okay. Oh, and a bonus cat hair. So I'm going to put that. Actually, I'm going to put this here on here and then attach my flower to it. like that. And then here we go. This one, I'm going to put that right there. Take the back off my dimensional and then pop that and give it a push. Now, the last thing we're going to be doing is adding a sentiment and some bling, okay? If this is also your opportunity, if you want to use this piece of paper, if you want to use it on the back to write, because you can't write inside, but if you want to add that to add to the back to write on, or you might be happy just writing on the peach pie, the petal pink. I get those two colors mixed up all the time. I think it's because of all the peas. I think that's what it was. Do I do junk journaling? I have not done any for a long time, Cindy, but yeah, I have done it in the past. Because I do a little bit of scrapbooking and we do all sorts of different, 12 by 12 pages and other little things. We currently have a baby book, like a scrapbooking. In fact, Ellen did a really nice, Ellen, you did that on a live, didn't you? You showed your baby book. I'm pretty sure you did. And that's, you could certainly junk journal with that, All right, so that goes on the back for me to write my greeting. And then I've got to add on the front. Where did I put? Here it is. Here it is. Stop looking. All right, I'm going to add my greeting. For this one, I'm going to use, like I did on the first one, Thinking of You. That comes from the matching Simply Beautiful. This is the one that matches those flower dies that we've just used. Okay, Thinking of You. That onto a block. And I'm going to use Calypso Coral ink for that as well. All right. Grab my Calypso Coral. Let's get that all inked up. And we're going to stamp it on here. Sometimes when I'm doing a stamp like this onto a sentiment, I like to get over it. So I'm sorry if you're looking at the back of my head. Well, not quite, but yeah, try and get over it because you'll get to position it better so it fits properly on your banner. All right, now this is going to end up right here in front. And I want to add, I'm going to put it on dimensionals once again. So I've got a dimensional here and one next to it because this end is going to go a little bit over. So we don't want dimensionals there. So a new sheet. So I'm going to have one on the end and one kind of in the middle. And so the nice thing about having a grid is that it's really easy to get it straight when you put things on top. All right, now I have messed that up a little bit because it's sticking out over my window. So I don't want it to do that because I don't want my card to stick together when I close it. So I'm going to move that. That's better. You could also, if you wanted to, add a mini dimensional here on this. In fact, I might do that because it'll make it sit down properly. If you don't have any mini dimensionals, you can, of course, grab your scissors, wherever they might be. Where are they? There we go. And just do a little bit of the edge. And that's also an alternate way to doing your dimensionals if you need a really small dimensional and you don't have any minis. Just chop up the edges of your, right, like that. And then the last thing you're going to do, you're going to add some bling. Okay, so let me see, what have I got here? I've got white, I've got petal pink. Actually, I'm wondering about either of them would be fine. And the Calypso Coral are really nice as well, but I think I might go with the white. So you can use take your pick tool or the point of your scissors and you're just going to pop maybe a larger one here. And then a couple of little guys on the other side. Oh, throwing them around. So this is not a difficult card, but it is certainly got more pieces than maybe your average card. And if you get everything, get your nested dies sorted and you do it all in order, it's not tricky. It's not that bad. All right. So there you go. That's my little diorama card. What do you think? Oh, thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. I know it's a really easy little card. But like I said, I've made a lot of dioramas over the years. I've got a bit of a thing for them. So my suggestion to you is if you'd like to see some of the other dioramas, in fact, I might even put a link below this video. I'll put a link down below so that you can go and see those, or you can just go to my channel and search the word diorama. And I've got diorama cards from years and years ago, a couple of Christmas ones. I did a blue one some years ago, which had a similar shape to this. And then I also did some others. I've done some with circles. I've done some with rectangles, all sorts of different ones. So oh, you're so welcome, guys. I'm really, really glad you can be here with me today. And don't forget, it's not too late to get the February supply pack. If you would like to receive that next month from me, just make sure you order with me before the end of January. So by the 31st, just needs to be $90 worth of products or more. Okay. If you're ordering $125 worth of products, you can also get the fabulous Phrases stamp set, which is our product of the month if you want. So that's a $9 purchase with a qualifying order. The qualifying amount is $125. That's the Australian price. It's different in different markets. So you love it. I'm so glad. Yay. All right. Additionally, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget that. That helps me get seen by more and more people on YouTube, and I'm building that channel. I'm trying to get to 11,000 subscribers. I have been sort of hovering around between 10 and 11,000 for ages, and I'm getting close, but not quite there yet. So please hit that subscribe button because I would really like that. That would be awesome. How's the cats, Donna? I'll quickly answer that question because I know not everybody likes to hear about the cats all the time. They are doing okay. And in fact, we've been doing supervised visits with Crumpet and Freya because Crumpet's initial reaction to her wasn't very good. So he's doing much better. He seems like last night, he just sniffed at her a couple of times and walked away. So I'm like, that's progress. That's really, really good. But he does want to play with her. So, do I ship to the US? I don't ship product, unfortunately, Cindy. I'm so, so sorry. But if you are in the US, I have a couple of beautiful, wonderful friends over there who could absolutely help you. I have Susan Campfield would be my first pick. She's in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, and she's a amazing demonstrator with a very kind heart. So you will love working with her if you're looking for someone in the US. All right, you guys. Well, I hope everyone is well. I hope you all stay safe and not too hot if you're here in Australia right now, and not too cold if you're in the US. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget, I'm live again tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. And also every Tuesday at 2 p.m., I do a technique class here on my YouTube channel, and you're always welcome to join me for those as well. They're all free, and that's a great place to meet up with a great group of crafters, which is you guys. And like I've said before, thank you for showing up for me because I will keep showing up for you. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day. Thank you. Bye.